Alright, so in today's video, what we're going to be talking about is how to do the startup procedure for getting the Nuendo Live raw recordings for the rehearsals and the showtime. So to begin with, you need to start with getting the HP laptop, the Surface Pro, from Dylan. That then is, I'm in the control room right now. And on the top of the rack, the one that says bridge on front of it, you're going to take the computer, the laptop here. All right. The power cable is back here. So you might need to push this back. We're going to plug the power in on the side here. Okay. So it's powered up. I can see the light indicator on right there. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up. All right. So the password is 1234. All right. And the next thing I want to do is I'm going to take the Ethernet cable that's taped to the side of the cabinet here. You'll see that it comes down into a USB-C connector. That USB-C connector is going to go into the USB-C connection on the laptop. You'll hear a beep. That's how you know that it's connected. So the next thing that we have to do is we have to get the, and I'm actually going to kill the lights here. Right there's not much of a glare. Okay, so the next piece of this puzzle is we need to get the Dante Virtual Soundcard going. So that is this icon right here, the little speaker icon in the taskbar. You're going to go ahead and click on that. That's going to pop up this little window here. So a couple things to notice here is where it says Ethernet 4. That's that Ethernet cable that we just plugged in. As well as the IP address right here. So right now the IP is 172.22.3.178. That's been pre-configured into the sound console, and I'll show you that here in a moment. But what we need to do is we need to click Start, because that will get the Dante Virtual Soundcard processor going. Now the next thing that we want to do before we move on is we want to double check that that actually connected to the soundboard. So I'm going to go out to the soundboard, and normally the soundboard is on the porch, but at the time that I'm making this, it is actually in the middle of the house. So bear with me as I got to run back and forth. On the sound console, what you'll see is I/O device number 5 connected. And if you jump to Dante's setup, it looks like this, where this right here, the desktop -M1V5ATG, that will no longer say virtual on it. That's how we know that it's connected. So the next couple things that we have to do is we need to go to down here where it says recorder. I'm going to click on that. And then up here, there's a tab called Nuendo Live. If we go into the Nuendo Live setup, what we should see is a specified IP address. That specified IP address should match, and I believe it does. I can't remember the exact number, but it's 172.22.3.178. So we're going to click OK. And then the next thing that we have to do is now we have to go back out to the computer and get Nuendo Live set up. So let's do that next. I'll try not to run so I run out of breath. All right, so back at the laptop, what we want to do is we want to open up Nuendo Live 3. Notice there's actually a Nuendo Live 2 on here. We definitely want Nuendo Live 3. So double click to open it. Here what we're going to do is we're going to double check a couple settings before we get going. So in the settings menu, up here, the drop down should say Dante Virtual Soundcard, X64. Over here, multi-track mode should be turned on. And then down here, these are all the different Dante input channels. We should see a check mark on all of those channels. If you scroll up slow, you'll see that there's a check mark on each and every one. So now what we can do is we can say, okay, and we need to create a new folder. So every rehearsal, as well as every show, is going to be put into its own folder. So we're going to go over here and click new, and then we're going to create empty. That's going to pull up this window. We want to navigate to where it says OHS. We'll double click on Mamma Mia. And notice how there's a folder for each date. So what we're going to do is we're going to click new folder. And we're going to type in the date. So start with the year, the 4-digit year, a dash. Oops. Dash. Sorry, I can't type and talk and record at the same time. Then the month, a 2-digit month, followed by another dash, and then the 2-digit day. Another dash, and then we're going to put capital R for recordings. After you do that, press the Enter key, and then go ahead and click Select Folder. Now, a couple things to note here is over here, we know that this has worked because we can see all the actor names as well as all the different color combinations that go along with them. If this was all gray over here and it just said track 1, 2, 3, 4, that's how we know that something went wrong. We need to stop and start to ask questions. So the next thing to note here is in order to get this recording going, and another note is when there's actually people here like rehearsing, you'll actually see these levels going up and down. And if you see other videos of like the virtual sound check, you'll actually see that in action. So one more setting that we have to do on here, and that is we have to enable the recording on all the different tracks that are out there. And that is done by clicking the record enable all tracks. That's this little button right there. You'll see all the tracks turn red, or all these buttons turn red. That's how you know that everything's ready to go. So now what we can do is actually control this through the sound console. So everything's ready to go. We'll do the recording and everything else through the sound console. So this process is complete. So thanks for watching and thanks for doing this.